I've just picked up another marsh snake from up the road. I don't know what's going on. I've got a marsh snake in an enclosure there. They've never really popped up much before, but they're popping up all over the joint at the moment. Now the vets are absolutely flat out, so I'm gonna weigh him. I'm gonna work out how to use this thing. I'm gonna weigh him in there, chuck him in. I've got some antibiotics in the freezer. Oh yeah, that's why I've got him. He was attacked by a cat. So I'm gonna email the weights to the vet. They're gonna tell me how much antibiotics to pump into him so we can get that into him immediately and start fighting that cat bacteria that's gone into his system. So I haven't had a good look at our snake yet. He was in fairly good nick. Obviously a couple little punctures from the cat bite and the cat attack, but nothing major, thank God. He's not ripped to pieces or anything. Alrighty, we'll get our snake out. There he is. He's not a bad sized individual. Alrighty, you get in there. And we are looking at 17 grams. There you are, little fella. Decent sized little individual actually. Still a small little guy, but beautiful nonetheless. Small puncture there, just there, middle of the frame. And that's the one at the back, and he's obviously got one on the other side of the back. Just there, where the cat's picked him up. Cat's been fairly reasonable with him and hasn't destroyed him too much. It looks as though he's just carried him inside. This just shows, guys, if you're a cat owner, you need to keep him inside. It's just imperative. Alrighty, we'll get this little guy back in the bag for now. I'll get our antibiotics out of the freezer. I'll email the vets our weights, and they can tell me how much to inject him with. Alrighty, back in there you go, buddy. Just bagged up our beautiful little marsh snake. I've just got a Kookaburra here. I picked this guy up yesterday off Putty Road, 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away. He was hit by a car, flipped over the back of the car. He could still fly, he was running away, he was ducking away from me. So I think he just suffered a little bit of concussion. I've just tested him out now in the aviary. He's flying like no tomorrow. I'm gonna run him back up there now, take him back home, get him back with his family. We'll watch him blast out of the box, and then I'll go down to the vet and get our needles so we can inject our marsh snake with his antibiotics. See you there. Back out in this absolutely beautiful habitat. This poor cookie's literally flown across the one road that's anywhere in sight and done himself a mischief. So we brought him back home exactly where he came from. They're extremely territorial birds. He's not gonna be happy if he doesn't go back to where he's from, and neither are the locals. So he's back here with his family, with his little group, and we're gonna let him out. Hopefully that way, not back towards the road. We'll get him out and see you. It's got stage fright. How good is that? Nothing better, guys. Absolutely nothing better. A lot of the time that's all these birds need when they suffer a concussion. A nice, cool, dark box for 24 hours just to regain consciousness, get all the marbles back into place. And look at that, flew off like absolutely nothing had even happened. That just makes your day, doesn't it? A bit of a funny one, guys. As you saw, no luck. I think the snake had already left out the door by the time I got there. But the old bloke that was living there, he was on the dunny and he'd sat down to do a crap, and just as he's about to do it, a big fat brown snake comes through the door, and well, he didn't shit his pants because he had none on, but he jumped off the dunny and he was out of there in no time. But I think the snake followed him out and just disappeared. He spooked him and he was gone. At least he's happy, he's not worried anymore. I checked everywhere in the laundry and the snake was not there. Yeah, the other one I was at was just over at Hasselgrove.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Don't come out like a bloody raging bull. Oh yeah, typical brown snake fashion. As you just saw, guys, I just pulled an absolutely beautifully coloured eastern brown snake out of that guy's pool box. So he opened up the pool box to service the filter or just clean it up, and to his surprise, there was a brown snake in there. and he was just curled up in there. But when I arrived, he was actually trying to get under the lip, and I was just able to pry up that lip enough, just enough to be able to gently take him out and get him in my bag. But if he went under that lip, we would have had absolutely zero chance of getting him. So I got there at the very right time. Now we're about to release him right back where he came from. Big bank of houses behind me, so he's just worked his way up the hill out of this bushland, ended up in the houses, got himself lost. So we brought him back home where he belongs. Time to get him out. Now I don't know, probably won't be able to give you guys much of a look because one, he's not injured, and I know he's not injured, so I don't need to look at him. And two, my scissors suck. And three, I reckon he's gonna be pretty fiery and wanna go on his way. If he just hangs out the end of the bag, we might have the pleasure of having a quick look at him. The brown was just a sort of flat brown little lines, but the orange underside on the belly was extremely vivid. Hopefully you could see it when I picked him up, but I don't think I set the camera up very well there. Jeez, he's gone like lightning. How's the camera set up? Oh, you would not have seen him at all, would you? Anyway, he's gone. It's good when they're like that because you know they're 110% fine. He shot off like a rocket. He's happy to be back home and I'm happy he's back home. All right, let's see what else is in store. How's this? I was just walking out and I found another eastern brown. Hey, gorgeous. Stunning little snake. What are the chances of that? I tell you, I always have the best luck finding things when I'm just quiet and I'm just listening. I have absolutely zero luck when I'm looking, but if I sit or stand somewhere and I just listen, honestly, that's the best way I find things. It could have even been the same snake. I released him over by that big gum tree. He even just could have chucked a Yui and headed back this way. It wouldn't surprise me, because he did sort of come around like that. Let's just say it's a different one. Let's say we've seen two for the day. All right, so I'm actually releasing the marsh snake this afternoon. It's about lunchtime now, and I'm releasing the marsh snake this afternoon, so bugger it. Let's chuck this guy in the same video, and I'll see you this afternoon at the marshy. Marsh snake's finally made it home. Move. After a long month of antibiotics, after being attacked by a cat, this is one of the guys that's made it. But basically, this guy was brought in by a cat, suffered a few little punctures, but the main problem, as always with cat attacks, is the bacteria, the infection that arises from the cat's saliva. This little fella, this tiny little fella, is one of the survivors. Thanks to human intervention. Luckily, the cat owner found this guy in time, was able to contain him, get him off the cat, and contact us. Otherwise, this little guy would have either been lunch or died a slow, painful death due to the infection. So here is our little fella here. So marsh snakes actually give live birth, so I would not be surprised if this little guy is this year's. But as you can see, he is absolutely raring to go. He survived the attack. He survived putting up with me for a month on his antibiotics, and now he's absolutely raring to go. So there's a few logs and whatnot here. We can send him under. Once the sun's out, he can come out and bask. He can get back to catching his little tadpoles and skinks and fill up his belly. It's been a pleasure knowing you, little guy. Off you go. And gone. No messing about there. How good is that? Nothing better than our little snakes being able to survive the bite from an introduced predator. This just shows the importance of keeping your cats inside, if not inside, in an outdoor enclosure. That's even better. This little guy, he lives to fight another day. He lives to go and hassle skinks, frogs, tadpoles, and I'm sure he's gonna get straight to it. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.